Yeah, I guess first and foremost, I'd like to send my congratulations to Coach Graham and the Rice Owls and South Dakota State and USF. South Dakota State making their first regional, if I'm correct on that. Hopefully they found the experience here at PK Park and the community of Eugene to be a very quality first-class regional. We made every effort to do that, and Rice played like a championship baseball team tonight, and we were not worthy of getting that done, and the feeling that we all have is obviously a feeling of emptiness, and it's unfortunate that tonight's game was uncharacteristic of most of the year, obviously, and but it's almost the opposite of yesterday. They did a great job. We didn't pitch very well, unfortunately, and they were on it. They hit some balls hard, and the balls they mishit found holes, and this darn game of baseball is a difficult thing, and I guess that's what makes moving on so special for those teams, the 16 teams that get to do that, and the final 8 that get to the College World Series. No matter how good you are the entire year, it's about now, and it makes it even sweeter when you're able to accomplish that. I also would like to congratulate my team and basically the core group of this last 2 years, and with the seniors that we're going to lose and the guys that are going to go on to professional baseball. The fact that we've won 94 baseball games in the last 2 years is I think hopefully they can reflect on that, and my staff and I will do our best to, when they leave the locker room tonight after the emotions spill out, to get them to reflect on what they've accomplished.
You talked about the decision, obviously in a tough spot, but starting Reed, 2 days rest, not a ton of options, but kind of what went into that consideration?
Well, we're not real deep. That was our 5th game. He threw 74 pitches in 7 innings. He assured us that he felt strong. The mission was to try to get about 60 pitches out of him, and in a perfect scenario, we could get 4 or 5 innings. And then it was the plan was to extend Clevenger to 2 and Jimmy to 2. And unfortunately, it backfired on us in the spot that I brought Christian Jones in. I think had he thrown in character, was the perfect spot to bring him in. Jake was out of character. He was missing. When you're calling the game, you realize some of the pitches are supposed to be up and they're not, and on the other side of the plate. And we had some good bullets. Unfortunately, they just didn't do what they've done all year long. And then even. What it was is a bunch of good young men. I actually think, and this is not an excuse, and again, going back to Rice's excellent performance, I think we would have been better off if we would have played a doubleheader. I talked about this being a little easier on, you don't have to, in the olden days, you had to win 2 doubleheaders in a row. I think the fact that we were well rested, had the dream, I know my guys very well. They were developing a plan when their heads hit the pillow, and they were excited about executing the plan. We got stunned. We flinched, and then because of their character and their will to win, they started trying too hard. Let's give some credit where credit's due. The freshman catcher comes in and has 4 hits. Their stopper, who threw 59 pitches, got deep in the game, and Kubica, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but when you throw 88 miles an hour sliders, and he threw, I don't know how many he threw on Friday, but their guys on short rest pitched better than our guys did. And that's kind of sometimes that's what you have to do. I went to Jake several times and made sure that if he didn't feel right warming up, he was supposed to tell us. If he didn't feel right in the first or second, he was supposed to tell us. And the last thing I want to do is hurt somebody. And he just was not as good on short rest. He didn't have the same life or command. And then when they got off to a good start, certainly that motivates them and gives them that same momentum we had yesterday, scoring 11 runs. They felt invincible, and unfortunately we couldn't stop them. The guys we ran out there, we stopped them for a while, and then even Jimmy was trying too hard, trying to help the team, not because of his selfishness or things like that.
When you finally pulled him, it seemed like a long conversation. Was that for stalling purposes, or was there actually still a debate on whether to leave Jake in?
When I finally pulled Reed, yeah, we were stalling. Christian takes a long time to get ready. We didn't want to have him warming up a long time, and then Jake gets into the 4th or 5th, and then Christian gets stiff. So that was a stall tactic thing, and we finally got the call that Christian was ready. So.
Ryan, with the draft coming up, what are your thoughts? Are you feeling like this was it for you tonight? And reflect on that a little bit. What's going through your mind right now?
And quite frankly, I have a lot of emotions going through me right now. You know, first and foremost for the seniors who've put their heart and soul into this program, and then my junior class who I've been with for 3 years. You know, I don't know what my future is going to hold right now. This week will determine it. But whether I leave or whether I stay, University of Oregon was by far the best thing that's ever happened to my life and baseball career. So I can't say enough thank yous and everything in that category to the coaching staff and the University of here for really changing my life for the better.
Coach, if he's gone, can you talk about what kind of legacy he leaves?
Well, you know, he talked about the personal development stuff. I don't get involved in all the recruitment. Coach Jackett's back in those days, and Coach Kirby and Coach Gill, but I did happen to go into his home, and I kind of fell in love with him and his family at that time. And I'd say in the early days of Ryon Healy, as spectacular as he was, we actually thought he was a better pitcher than a hitter. How about that? There's a guy named Babe Ruth that was kind of like that. And I'm not trying to put those kind of expectations on Ryan, but I think that besides the baseball development and the fact that we surely hope that he gets drafted as high as possible, and he's got a brilliant career ahead of him. He went from being a youngster to a real man and a leader, and essentially carried the club offensively this year, for crying out loud. I've been around the Kotses and the Nevins and the Suzukis, and in a different ballpark, a more offensive ballpark. I've never coached a guy that did it better in more important times all year long when it mattered, and with not a whole bunch of protection around him. I mean, we have freshmen hitting behind him, and he's getting pitched around, and tonight was a good example of that. But most of all, I'm just proud that I got to know him, and the relationship will last a lifetime, and he's got a tremendous future. Selfishly, like to keep guys for their senior year, but in this case, I hope he gets drafted very high, because I think whoever gets him has got a tremendous baseball player.
When you look at the pitching that you have coming back next year, how confident do you feel with those guys?
Yeah, we've got a good nucleus of pitching. What we're going to have to replace is a shortstop that's arguably the best in the country, or as good as any shortstop I've ever coached, and a bunch of winners. The seniors, as Ryan alluded to. We're not going to be, besides Ryan and the fact that he's probably going to sign, we've got the guy next to me, hopefully back. And the real excellence of our team, whether it's exciting and brings fans here or not, is the pitching and defense. And it would be, unless we change the dimensions or the turf or make it harder or whatever, to think that we're going to be an offensive juggernaut here at PK Park every day, I don't see that happen. And certainly a deeper lineup, and Coach Waz and Coach Ullman we've got a pretty good recruiting class if we don't get just devastated by the draft. But what we lose is the real strength of the 94 wins over the last 2 years is character, and the fact that our guys, you look at numbers, and I'm sure Rice wasn't coming in here going, wow, these guys are the 27 Yankees. But I do think that they probably thought we were a pretty good baseball team.
George, you've obviously made Omaha the goal, 2 straight national seeds, 2 years coming up short. How close do you think this program is to getting there?
I think that's pretty good. You know, it's maybe the committee will look at us differently next year if we win 45 games and come in second in the pack. I don't know, but I think we deserve that. You know, there was probably some media or people out there that thought we were overrated, but we certainly didn't think we were overrated. And you know, out of the 16 losses that we had, there's a team that's moving to a Super Regional. We lost 2 to Vanderbilt, 2 to Fullerton, 2 to Oregon State. If I'm accurate, they're all still playing. So I don't think that's very embarrassing. But are we satisfied? No. Are we close? Yes. Does it really hurt? Yes. Are we going to bust the door down? Yes. We're going to go to Omaha sooner or later, and the names will be different on the roster, but we're going to go to Omaha in this program. I can assure you that, and I'm going to be the coach.
Falling behind early like you guys did tonight, how do you kind of battle that aspect of trying to, or like Coach was talking about there?
It's tough. You know, everyone, when you're behind 3-0, you kind of want to put it on your back, you know, instead of, you know, passing the baton like we've been taught to do throughout the year. But I don't know. I think as a offensive unit, we were just trying too hard all series. And then, I don't know, the park isn't very rewarding. So, especially when you have your long swings on a guy that's throwing 92 miles an hour, it just doesn't work out very well for us.
How much did playing doubleheader yesterday affect you guys today?
I don't think it affected us at all. I think we were all ready for today's ball game, and we were excited, and just things didn't go our way today.
Was there no fatigue at all for you?
No, none for me.
Tyler, how do you try and, you know, your coach talked about it's going to be hard to be an offensive juggernaut in this park, but how does the offense and the bats try and take a step up going into next year?
I mean, it's obviously going to be tough losing Ryan, and I mean all the other guys all the seniors and guys that are going to be gone in the draft. But Coach Waz and Ullman do a good job preparing us, and we'll be ready for next year for sure. I mean, just got to play our game, and just pitching and defense will back us up too. So.
Sort of along those lines, you talked about this core group meant so much on and off the field. There's these character guys. Is this maybe a fork in the road, kind of going forward? Obviously, maybe rebuild with some guys, or obviously you're confident going forward.
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's going to be new JJs and new Ryan Hambrights and new Ryon Healys, and you know, as I get older, my competitive nature has not dissipated at all, and when it does, I'll walk away. But now I reflect on the fact that so many of the players, besides winning rings and championships and going to Omaha, it's more about the relationships and what they do, and they send me pictures of their babies and their wives and the family. And, you know, I don't want to sound too corny, but I think I still have that burning desire to win championships and so forth, but that's, when I was younger, it was more critical. Not that I didn't have relationships, and now to see all my assistant coaches that have gone on and done things, and what my players have done, and what they've done in professional baseball when they get that, and the lives that they've touched, you know. And I think beyond the 94 wins this group has, you know, I said it last year, it sounds corny, but these guys are national champions in the game of life. Flight attendants come up to me, hotel people, equipment guys at other parks rave about how we leave dugouts and how we leave locker rooms and how we treat kids and how we treat people. They're champions, you know. There's only one team that gets to say, I got a ring, you know, whether I've never got a ring for a conference championship, but there's only one team at the end of the day that's really, really happy, or at the end of the year. what tonight and the next several days, I'm going to have to convince my guys to reflect on the relationships and what they've done for the university, the community, for people, and for me, for each other. So unfortunately, we play a vicious sport that's measured on winning. And, the darn game for J.J. Altobelli to hit a ball pretty hard and hit into a double play in his last at bat, that really bothered me.
Hey, George, for this regional and this season, how different do you think you are with all the dings and injury losses you've had? You didn't have Heineman or Brett for a game together in this, and you talked about some of the others. Are you the team you were 6 weeks ago?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to use any excuses. I thought Tyler did it. We weren't tired. We got beat by a better team tonight. We got outplayed. We were extremely dinged up. But that's, I don't know if Rice had any critical guys injured or anybody else. It's just the nature of the deal. We'd say next duck up, and if we won tonight, we'd be celebrating the fact that we did play dinged up. He wasn't 100%. Heine was feeling a little better. There's a guy named Brett Thomas that didn't get to play in this thing, but we're not going to take anything away from Rice's performance, and I can assure you my guys are not going to use that as an excuse. We got outplayed tonight. They played championship baseball. They pitched really well. They made the plays, and some guys stepped up. Like I said, Coach Graham's a genius. He put a freshman catcher in there, and he caught a tremendous game, and he was a big part of their offense as well. That's what Coach Graham said a very kind thing about my coaching career. Well, just look at his coaching career. He's one of the all-time greats, and he had his club better prepared than my club.
Ryan, how frustrating is it for you to have 2 seasons in a row and on your home field and short of your potential?
That's going to be a long process of reflecting on the disappointment, but like Coach was talking about, we can't sit here and, just drown ourselves in the disappointment. There's so many positives that has come out of this experience, and as men, we got to sit back and really look at the positives that we've gained from these experiences and use them not only towards baseball but towards our lives. And, quite frankly, I think I've learned more about life throughout these 3 years than I have about baseball. So, that's how special this program has been to my life. And, the fact that we come out short the last 2 years is obviously disappointing, but the fact that we also made it as far as we did is also very accomplishing. And, I'm not going to hang my head about the last 2 seasons. I'm going to walk out with my chest high. I'm going to go hug my brothers, and we're probably going to cry a lot, but quite frankly, I'm not walking out of here, with my head hanging. I'm proud to be a Duck.
George, can you talk about Jimmy Sturkey, his time here and his future?
Yeah, tonight wasn't very reflective of Jimmy. He's had a brilliant last 2 years, All-American. He would have been on Team USA last year had the injury not set in, and whatever he ended up with, 21 saves. When you win 48 games and a guy has something to do in 21 of them. And Jimmy's grown up a lot too. I'd say he was borderline very immature coming in here, and talked about his progression of working hard, and guys like Tyler Anderson and Alex Cadell taking him under his wing, and he went from a silly, goofy freshman to a All-American pitcher in a hurry because of hard work, and very proud of what Jimmy's accomplished, and he's got a tremendous future, I think, in professional baseball.